Well, the first thing I do is I always tell agents that work with our company is make sure you understand what a buyer and a seller is. A buyer is someone who buys, a seller is someone who sells. That sounds contrite, but a real buyer makes real offers. A real buyer gets pre-approved. A real buyer returns your phone calls and your texts and your emails and promptly. Same thing with a seller. Second thing I tell my buyers, especially when the first-time home buyer, and if you're a first-time home buyer in this market, it's very intimidating, especially if you're not from Southern California. I'm from Virginia, so my brother's selling his house now, and it's very different buying and selling property in other parts of the country. But I tell my clients and my buyers when they walk in the door, number one, the list price is a starting point. Okay, so this is where they're starting the price points on most properties. So don't feel like you're going to be the guy that goes out and gets the deal, because you're going to be the guy that goes out and doesn't get the house. And you're going to probably lose a couple with your buyer. With the sellers, I think it's important you take a listing that you tell your sellers, by the way, we're in a strong market, and the market's going to correct us the first 2 weeks of our listing. And if we don't get at least one offer, we're overpriced. Simple as that. And there's only one reason why a home doesn't sell. It's always price. Always price. Everything else is fluff. Now, you should tell your seller, if we get multiple offers, don't panic. Because I've seen a lot of homes, and Dave, you can probably attest to this, they put it on the market, they get 12 offers, and the seller says, I don't want to sell. So I had a couple happen on my end. So I say, look, if you're going to get multiple offers, you're going to panic. If you get a full price offer, you're not going to say, oh my gosh, I priced it too low. If I bring in a buyer myself, you're not going to try to negotiate my commission down, right? It's a very important conversation to have in this market, because otherwise you bring in your own buyer and the seller says, well, I shouldn't have to pay you a full commission. So have those conversations with the seller in advance. And with the buyer, I always ask my buyer, if the perfect house came tomorrow, and I ask them to describe the perfect house, what would you do? And then you know who you have to work with.